Oh, it's not a cut. That's a slice.
Now this is a quack hook.
Oh,
Short
wow.
and into the right rough, headed to the trees.
Oh my God, it's a shank. He decided to re-tee. That's a shank. Oh, man.
Hello, everyone, and welcome back to another episode of the Two-Way Miss Podcast. Thank you for joining us, as always, wherever, whenever you might be. I am one of the hosts of your show, Mr. Regz, and I am joined, as always, by the good buddy Banksy. Banksy, how you doing, buddy? Long time no talk. Everything's been
Doing
going well,
well.
I hope.
Yeah, yep. As you alluded to earlier, we're just living the dream.
At least that's what they keep telling us.
They keep telling us.
I don't know why, but I was randomly talking tonight about, like, finally retiring and just playing golf all day long.
Yeah.
And I'm like, yep, that's cool. It's only like 30 years out.
Oh gosh, man.
It's
Yeah.
fun. It's fun to think about, isn't it?
Yeah. Just I just want to mow grass.
Yeah,
or
we're
Be a
gonna
mailman. I don't know.
let's just win the Powerball,
or that. Yeah, that would help.
and we can get down there a little sooner.
Sure.
Someday, buddy, someday.
Someday.
All right. Well, on a happy note, it's Ryder Cup week, so something we're both very excited about. Something we're both excited to sit down and watch. It's going to be very early morning golf, which is going to be fun.
Yeah. How
I
about?
think we prefer that. I think we enjoy that.
You know, I do. I prefer. I like it. It's also nice having West Coast golf when it's on just till like midnight.
Yeah.
But early morning golf is good too.
I feel like
It's
when it's like that's a good summertime thing when it's late. I feel like
Yeah.
during the school year, I feel like early is better now.
early is better.
Because like as
yeah.
soon as I wake up, I can turn something on. So I'm certainly looking forward to it. It should be a lot of fun. We do not have the official pairings out yet for Friday, but we did find a couple predictions of what the pairings might be. So we're going to go through some of those, give our opinions on that, and then give everybody our long-awaited final prediction for the whole thing. And then we'll be back next week to sort of recap everything that happened and, see who comes out on top of this. So let's just talk this over. We just found these pairing predictions. Again, we're still waiting for the official pairing selection. They should be out tomorrow. On Thursday. So for Friday foursomes, they don't have. I'm going to assume the first group is going against the first group. So let's just assume this list is sort of in line with who's playing who, and we'll go from there. So out first, Schauffele and Cantlay. Schauffele and Cantlay. I don't know how you do it. Anyway, against Rory and Matty Fitz.
Huh.
An interesting pairing. I think Rory and Matty Fitz. You would think that just Rory is there to just bomb the absolute heck out of the
Yeah.
ball.
Right.
Because foursomes, right?
Yeah.
is
So what?
alt
Yeah.
shot.
Just what is foursomes?
So foursomes is alternate shot.
It is right away.
Yep.
Right away they start with
So,
alternate
yeah,
shot.
So I think Europe is allowed to choose what they want to do first. So they chose
Okay.
to do alt shot first, which again is interesting, but that's how they're running it. And then the afternoon will be the fourball, which is better ball. So whatever team,
Yeah.
whatever team gets the best score in that hole with everyone playing their own ball, that's who wins the hole.
Is that always how it's been? You get to the home team.
I think
gets
so.
To
I
pick?
think it. Yeah.
Okay. So starting off with alternate shot, the hardest thing in
right.
golf ever.
Yep. So starting off
Ever.
with that, again, Xander and Patrick Cantlay against Rory McIlroy and Matty Fitz.
That is going. If that's the case, that is going to be a super competitive match.
Yeah.
Because nobody's as long as Rory, but everybody in that group keeps it in the fairway.
Yeah.
Everybody is decent putters. Everybody is pretty good iron players. Like
Yeah.
that's going to be a super super competitive
So you got to think with the
match.
McIlroy Fitz thing, they're going to set it up so Rory is just bombing it down there. You would say Fitz is a better wedge player than Rory.
Yeah,
I don't know if
you
that's
would
I don't
say
know if
that.
that's a high bar to climb, but but again, Fitz isn't very short anymore. He's
Right.
added some
Yeah,
yardages, so
he's gained a lot of distance.
but
Yeah.
if you want someone hitting longer irons, you'd rather have Rory doing it than Fitz.
Right. Because Rory
So
hits him so high too.
right. And his wedges are terrible, so the less wedges you can give him, the better. So you got to think that's the goal with that pairing. Look, Xander and Cantlay have played really well together over the past couple Ryder Cups. So you think from a USA side, you send out your two almost most steady guys, and guys who are playing well right now. So I think in terms of who I think wins that one, that's like you said, I think that would be a really good match. Because
Yeah.
Xander and like Cantlay just don't care. Like they're not going to be bothered by going out first or everyone being all jacked up for Rory, as the first grouping out there.
Right.
I think I'd have to go Xander and Cantlay just because I don't like Fitz hasn't played very well in Ryder Cups. And we don't really know how he's going to do. Like we just don't know.
Right. I think you're right. I think the overall consistency of Cantlay and Shoffley prevail, and I will take them as well. If these are the pairings,
Right,
I mean,
if they are.
These aren't the official pairings, but
No, these are just predictions, but
they're probably pretty close.
Yeah.
So
And again,
I'll go,
without knowing them, we're
go-
making some assumptions, but that's a pretty good one to start.
Yeah,
All
that'll
right.
be a really good match.
It would. All right, next. JT and Spieth against Hovland and Aberg. This one is like we literally have no idea what Justin Thomas and Jordan Spieth are going to look like.
We have no idea.
I mean, Thomas played, I guess, a little bit better at that Fortinet or whatever the heck that thing is.
Yeah.
Spieth, who knows what he's going to play like? Everyone's just assuming that when they get on a golf course together as a pairing, they're going to figure it out.
They'll just figure it out. Yeah.
But like Victor Hovland's like the hottest golfer on the planet right now. And Ludwig is like, the dude's like a monster. The dude's a beast. Like he's really, really good. I don't know. I think just looking at this, I got to give it to Europe. Like I'm not sure with how like iffy we think JT and Spieth's game are right now. I just don't know how they beat those guys.
Yeah. I mean, I'd have to agree. I mean, I just, for it's one of those things where Justin Thomas has played so bad this year. I don't think necessarily deserves to be on the team.
Yeah.
Based on his play. I think his history and probably, somewhat keeping Jordan in a good headspace. Like if Thomas wasn't on the team, I could see Jordan having a mental breakdown. So I think I'm gonna go with Europe too until those two prove that they can still get the job done.
That would be a huge win for them.
And my goodness, putting those two out in an alternate shot, they're going to be hitting the ball from all over the place.
Yeah. Yeah, I think if they would come out and win that with how well Hovland's been playing and how iffy the USA guys have been playing, that would be something. That would be a really whoa, what's going on here?
Yeah. And the other, if Justin and Jordan don't win, it's do you keep pairing them?
Well, I just don't. Do you
keep pairing them together?
Else. Yeah, I think you have to.
Just keep them together.
Why not just keep? If they're both playing bad, just keep them together. Who cares? You just know it's.
Okay. So what if one's playing? What if Thomas is still playing like shit and
Yeah.
Jordan's playing good, do you risk
I
like
just-
that?
I
Those
just
are
don't think those two want to play with anybody else.
No, I get it. I'm sure they don't, but if it's for the good of the team, like if Thomas is just absolutely terrible
Yeah.
and Jordan's contributing, like as a captain, you're going to have to make.
Yeah. There would have to be
You-
another team that's like that. There'd have to be another pairing that kind of goes that way so they could pair up maybe two hot hands together.
But hey, listen, I'm you know, I'm rooting for them. I mean, I hope they.
Yeah.
I hope they play well. But
That'll be
if
really
that
interesting.
if that's the pairing, I would give that to. I'd give it to Europe.
Yeah. All right. This next one is also interesting. Brooks and Brian Harmon against John Rahm and Tommy Fleetwood.
There's no way Brooks and Brian Harmon are playing together.
It kind of makes sense again, though. If you think about it, Harmon's a good iron player.
But yeah,
The opposite is that Harmon isn't going to hit it very far, but he's always probably going to be in the fairway. So you'd rather have Brooks hitting longer irons because he's probably got at least a club on Harmon, with everything in the bag.
yeah. Are we concerned about Harmon's slow play? If he gets all fidgety and he's taking forever to hit a shot, and
Yeah, I mean that's a fair point. I think
it's taking too long. I'll just hit both shots because he's taking too long to hit.
I mean,
I
yes,
don't know.
that could be a thing, but you maybe hope that I don't know. I
In the
guess you just
team-
hope that
the
in the
team
team
spirit
format he kind of
of things.
he kind of gets over it.
Okay.
I think both are decent putters, so in an all shot format, you're not too worried about either of
Yeah.
them. From the
Yeah,
putting
Brooks
side,
took the Shrixon driver out of the
that's
bag.
right.
He's got his TaylorMade M2 back.
Yeah, shocking that Shrixon didn't make a quality driver.
It didn't.
Shocker there that they didn't keep up with some of the big boys in terms of club development. Yeah, this is this maybe is one of the predictions that probably might not happen. But I think if you're against Rahm and Fleetwood,
Oof, boy, that's
a pretty good pairing from the Europe side.
a pretty good pairing. I like that pairing.
I think you
Yeah.
kind of have to give it to Europe again. I just we don't know how Brian Harmon's going to do in this format. Like we just have no idea.
Yeah, I really like that team. Fleetwood and Rahm.
Yeah, that's going to be tough
That's
to
a
beat.
hell of a team. Yeah.
I'm not really sure how you beat that team, to be quite honest.
Yeah.
Unless it was Xander and Cantlay. They might be the only team from a US side who could be as consistent as that team.
Right. That'll be interesting. That's going to be a heck of a pairing.
I think Europe wins that one again.
Sure.
If that's the true pairing, I think Rahm and Fleetwood would be very hard to beat in any format.
Yeah, agreed.
Interesting. That would be a very interesting one. Because you're right. It'd be interesting if if Koepka Harmon would happen again after one round. If Brooks would get annoyed or anything like that. So, all right, last one of the morning session: Scheffler and Sam Burns against Lowry and Straka. I mean, I think Scotty could beat these two guys by himself. I'm not really sure Lowry Straka is their best option for going out there, but listen, sometimes you just got to put something together to get him out there.
Yeah.
I would think the U.S. would win that pretty easily. I'm not sure that one's really a contest. I just don't Lowry's been fine, and Seb Straka, it's never set the world on fire.
Right.
Uh,
Streaky.
Yeah,
Like you never know. Like he's one of those guys that I feel like could really play off the crowd.
but you think that might be more better in the fourball where he can just make a ton of birdies by
Right.
himself and just win a bunch of holes. In the alt shot,
Yeah.
it kind of, that sort of streakiness kind of gets taken away.
Man, that's such a hard format.
Right? You just need you just need good shots in alt
Yeah.
shot. And Scheffler like is full of good shots until he gets the putter in his hand.
Mm-hmm.
But he only has to hit half as many putts, so you think that's a good thing.
There you go.
Yeah, I think Scheffler and Burns would win that pretty easily. All right, so 2-2 going into the afternoon of fourball. Man, this is interesting. All right, cool. I like that this person kind of mixed it up because that's more fun. All right, Xander and Pat right back out.
Yeah.
Playing 2 a day. I mean, this team has just been so good that I'm not sure how you don't run them out all the time.
Right.
So it would be them against, they're putting Rory and Justin Rose together for fourball. That's interesting because you just need fourball. You just need guys who can make birdies. Like that's what you need.
You have two somewhat shaky, historically streaky putter. I won't say shaky, but streaky putters.
Yeah. And again, if Rory's wedges are off, can Rose make enough birdies to win some of these holes? With how consistently Xander and Cantlay like put the ball close to the flag. Like, does Justin still have that game? Like, Justin.
He's played well this year.
He has, but he wasn't winning tournaments that were going to like 23 under.
Right.
So
that
one, I think you're just relying on Rory like being on fire.
Yeah.
And just making every putt he looks at.
Yeah. Who are these picks from? Is this anybody credible or is...
It's RotoWire, so it's like a fantasy site.
Okay. Yeah, that would be an interest. That'd be a wild card team.
Yeah.
I think the Cantlay Schauffele is spot on.
Yeah.
Like that has to happen.
Yeah.
And like the Fleetwood and the Rahm pairing.
That's
like
a great one. Yeah, that's a really good one. That has to happen. I like the Hovland Aberg too. That's like a monster. That one, I think Xander and I'm not sure who beats Xander and Cantlay, to be quite honest, unless they're just really playing bad, but I don't expect that.
Yeah, I agreed.
All right, next one. Wyndham Clark, Ricky Fowler against Tyrrell and Big Shot Bob McIntyre. This one will not be watched by many people. I don't think we're going to see a lot of shots live from this particular group. They're just a moment ago.
My gosh.
Ricky, they're just not going to. They're not going to. This group isn't going to get a lot of coverage.
Oh my gosh! Yeah,
that's pretty funny. Oh man, I have no idea who wins in that. Like Fowler and Wyndham could be terrible. Like I don't know.
Yeah.
Ricky's been here before, but not for a long while.
Not for a long time.
And Wyndham's never been here. So like, who the hell knows?
Yeah, just go out and try your best, guys.
Good work, everyone. Good work.
Keep your knees bent and your head down.
Yeah, right.
Go have some fun.
Yep. No one cares who wins that. We'll move on. All right, next. Homa Morikawa against Fitzpatrick and Nikolai Højgaard. That Homa Morikawa is a really solid, like, they might never hit a bad iron shot.
Yeah.
Between the two of them.
Yeah, I'm trying to think.
I think you're relying on Colin just to be consistent. Like this team's not going to score worse than par on any hole because they're just so consistent. And then Max has got to be the one who just is making putts from everywhere.
Yeah.
And putting the pressure on him. I think the same thing with Fitz. Fitz can be that consistent guy who you hope is playing well enough to just, I'm not going to shoot worse than par on these holes. And so you're going to have to make birdies to beat us. And then Højgaard, you know, again, we don't know how like him and Aberg are going to play. We don't like, they're uber talented. So I think you would say Højgaard probably has a better chance of sort of lighting it up and making a lot of birdies. He's just the kind of player he is. So I think it's an interesting battle against two super consistent guys in Morikawa and Fitz, and then you're hoping for the other two guys to be the ones who just fill up the score sheet with a bunch of circles.
Mm-hmm.
And it's like who can do, you know, who can give us one or two more than the other guy. Because yeah, Fitz and Morikawa just aren't guys who are gonna, like, they're not shooting 61 or whatever.
Yeah.
That'd be an interesting one. It'd be close. I'm not sure who would win, honestly, if we had to pick one. You got to think maybe Homa has a little bit of an edge because he did the President's Cup and he maybe has a little bit more experience in this kind of format. But look, that kid could just come out and just play really, really well. Like, he's that talented.
Mm-hmm.
He's that talented. That'd be an interesting one. Yeah, that'd be a good one to watch. I feel like that would be a lot of fun because it'd be really close on every hole. And it'd probably just come down to a lot of putts. Like who's gonna make some putts, because all of them are gonna be close to the hole.
Yeah, and who, you know, the European man, they can start rolling in a few putts.
Yeah.
The crowd's gonna be wild.
Yeah. All right, last prediction that they have: Scotty and Brooks going out against Rahm and Hovland.
That's gonna be
Rahm Hovland is a good matchup again.
That's gonna be a lot of fun.
I feel like that's
there's just gonna be. That's gonna be a lot of fun.
Yeah, Europeans are gonna hate Brooks Koepka. He's gonna love it. Scotty's like gonna be a little church boy and not want to hurt anybody's feelings. Rahm's gonna be fired up, and Victor's just gonna be like bouncing around like a bunny rabbit the whole time. Probably just annoying the crap out of Brooks. I don't know. I think Rahm and Hovland win that. They're both just so good.
Yeah.
And again, Brooks hasn't really played that well.
Right. I mean, he won the PGA, but then it's just difficult because you don't see you don't see him the rest of the
right.
You know, you don't see him the rest of the year.
He won one live event after that, right?
Mm-hmm.
Again, who cares? And then it's just, I don't know if Scotty's putter is going to work for him to make birdies.
Right.
Rahm and Hovland could make 1,000,000 birdies.
Oh, for sure.
Like that's.
I just say, and the crowd, like, you have to take into consideration that what the crowd does.
Yeah.
Like I think these fans are ready to explode.
Oh yeah, they're gonna go nuts.
They are gonna go crazy. You know, things are getting weirder and weirder just in society and life. Like, who knows what they're gonna be screaming at the Americans and wearing or not wearing. Like, you know, and they're setting up these courses more and more like stadium, you know, stadium viewing where you're basically being promoted to go freaking crazy.
Yeah.
I'll be interested to see the crowd this week.
Yeah, apparently the crowds have already been nuts.
I'm sure.
I mean,
you know, because, you know, Europe got their ass kicked last Ryder Cup. It was on U.S. soil.
Mm-hmm.
They're still, I think, overall probably the underdogs, but they're trying to defend, you know, get the cup back and defend their home territory. Like, I think it's going to be a wild weekend.
Yeah. It is. It's going to be. I just think I think both are really close. And obviously we don't know the rest of the pairings for the next day or the singles matchups, but
Yeah.
the US, I think, overall has a better team. But there's also a good amount of question marks
Right. So
for
so
who's
let's
going to
just
play well.
let's run through it. Let's say Sunday we're tied. Everything's tied up on Sunday.
Yeah.
Let's run through our singles picks that the cup. It's coming down to the singles. We're all tied up. Who are you putting together? And then who are you gonna pick to win if it comes down to just 1v1 on the singles matches?
Oh, man.
Like, who do you send out first? Do you want to send your big hitter out first to set the tone? Do you want to wait
I think if you're
to bat and
if
clean
you're
up?
Europe and it's tied, I think you got to send out a big dog first to just
Now, is
whip
that-
that crowd into a frenzy.
So big dog Rory or big dog Rom?
I
or
don't think Rory. I don't say Rory. I think it's Rom or Hovland. Honestly, I think it.
Or if one of their guys, I don't know, if one of their guys catches fire. And
Yeah, or if one of the rookies is going nuts. I'm
Just
not
put
sure
it-
you put a rookie out first.
All right, so let's think about this. Who? So you're going to put Rom out first?
I think you put Rom out first because I think you want Victor where you think the last match is going to come down to.
Okay, so Rom out against who? Is that like Scheffler? Is it Koepka?
You got to put someone out there who's got a chance and isn't going to be phased by.
Like I would watch a Koepka Rom
That would be a pretty good one.
match.
I just think Rom stomps him. I don't know. I feel like maybe you just put out a Cantlay who's just a robot.
Ugh.
I know it's boring, but
Oh my god.
when you're thinking about it, you need
that's-
someone out there who's not gonna.
Did you just? Oh,
But just
this
think
is
about
this
it.
Is this is entertainment.
Well, yeah.
man.
In terms of entertainment, you're right. I would put out Brooks. I think that's the right choice from a purely entertainment standpoint.
I want to see some fireworks.
But if you're just trying to silence the crowd for an entire day, who better to go out there than just the robot Patrick Cantlay, who's not going to respond to anything?
I'm veto.
All right, that's fine.
That's not good TV, Rex.
Yeah. All right,
I'm
that's
sending
fine.
Rom and Koepka
Brooks,
out.
it is. Brooks, it is.
Oh man, I want ratings.
All right, so they're the first ones out. Let's. I want to do a beginning, a middle, and an end
Okay.
because I don't think we can match up every single person. That's ridiculous.
Okay.
That'll take too long. So now someone in the middle who presumably, if it's tied, usually the winner's coming out of the middle to middle, late middle. So
Yeah.
let's just say they're predicting, they're following their models. This could be the match that wins the cup based on what we're thinking. What two players do they want out there? I think Europe wants Victor Hovland out there.
Over Rory,
Yep.
Mr. Ryder Cup, Rory.
Yeah, absolutely.
He's their golden boy. Okay.
Wouldn't you want Hovland?
Yeah, as long as he's if he's playing.
Yeah, well, obviously we're basing
Well,
this off of how they're playing now. But
yeah.
Victor's the hottest player on the planet.
Okay. Yep. Hovland versus.
This is where
You put.
it's tough.
Is that a Scheffler situation? Is that
You're not gonna like this either, but it might be Xander.
God, I knew you were gonna say that. Freaking. All right.
It might be Xander.
I vetoed the last one, so I'll give you Xander.
This one isn't as ridiculous as the last one, I don't think.
No, you're right. Okay, so Xander
You just
So
need someone.
Xander,
You can't send out. You can't send out Sam Burns or like Clark or anybody. Like
no,
obviously, and you can't.
yeah,
Based on what we know right now, you can't send out Spieth or Thomas. Like you just can't. And Scotty, for as good as he's playing, if he's not making any putts, like what's the point? You're not going to win.
yeah. So we're putting out. So you would put Xander against
Hovland.
Hovland over Cantlay.
I think so. Yes.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right. So that's middle.
Yeah. And then
That's middle.
the final
And
guy
then-
out.
That's gotta be
It's
Rory.
gotta be Rory.
You
Yeah.
have to put him in some
Yeah.
position of potential
Yeah.
relevance.
Yeah.
So that's gotta be Rory.
So
and then
that's Rory.
Is that Scheffler? Or is that
I mean, it might be. That's it. Yeah. Scheffler's not a bad
you have
spot
to match
there.
up. You got to match the talent up with the talent.
I mean, again, that's just going to come down to who can make any putts. So you got to think Scotty would be a pretty good choice there just because he's going to put it close. He's going to probably be inside Rory on every approach.
Okay. So are we okay with that?
Just thinking through, like, I don't think you probably don't put Cantlay against Rory. You want Cantlay more towards the middle where, like, you just get a point against anybody.
Yeah. And again, like, right. Do we want to see?
And you can't put Spieth or Thomas against Rory because it's just like,
No.
I don't know.
No.
And it's probably not Homa either. You need Homa against someone else.
Yeah. So, okay. So that's beginning, middle, end.
Yeah.
I feel like we have to at least plug, where do you put Spieth? Who do you put Spieth against? Is it like a Spieth against Justin Rose? Who do you put? And then Fleetwood's still there.
I think you put Homa against Fleetwood.
Tyrrell, very emotional guy, very streaky player.
That's maybe who you put Cantlay against.
Yeah.
Because Cantlay probably pisses off Tyrrell.
Just slow play it. Yeah.
I think you put Homa against Fleetwood. And then probably a Morikawa Fitz isn't a bad one.
Yep, that's a good one.
And let's see, who else from the U.S. do we kind of need to match up here?
You still got Wyndham. You got
JT,
Harman.
I don't care who you
JT.
put JT against. I don't think it's gonna matter.
I don't put him.
And then at that point, it's like Ricky versus Lowry. Like, who cares?
Right.
Sam Burns against one of the rookies.
All right.
It'll
So
probably
our big ones are Robin Koepka.
Yeah.
What'd you say in the middle? Hovland and Xander.
Xander. Yep.
And then Rory and
Scheffler.
Those are our big ones.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, so now as we're wrapping up the show, who's taking it? Let's base it off of if they roll into Sunday tied.
I think the U.S. wins if they roll into Sunday tied. I just think overall they're just like their players are just better.
Just better.
Again, you think of the bottom half of the U.S. So go with.
And I mean, this is history too. Like we haven't won.
That's what I mean. It's like a big deal to say that because of what you just said. The U.S. hasn't won a Ryder Cup in Europe in, like you said, 40
I wish
years.
we were rolling in with a better, I guess, a more known team. I don't know, more consistent.
Let's just think about the bottom four for each team. Like, because this is probably what it comes down to. So you got to say the bottom four for the U.S. Burns, Clark, Fowler, Harman. Right?
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Based off just sort of past Ryder Cup performances. Stack them up against Seb Straka, Bob McIntyre, and the two rookies. Like the
Yeah.
two rookies are very good. You got to think if you're looking at them against. I mean, I don't think Tyrrell, honestly,
So
like
you
I don't
think
think Bob
US
McIntyre
has
is going to be great. So I just think he loses.
right?
I don't think Sebstrak is that great. I think the only kind of 50-50s is if one of these rookies like plays well, they can play really well. Like they're really talented. And then you would
Yeah.
need a Wyndham Clark or like a Brian Harmon to beat someone they're not expected to beat. And I honestly think if you're talking about the rookies, I think you got to put Wyndham and Sam Burns against them because at least they can match them from a length standpoint, all that stuff. You can't throw Brian Harmon out against like Ludwig. He's going to be 50, 60 yards past him on every hole.
Yeah.
And so I just don't think that's something you can do.
Yeah. And I mean, yeah, and Burns is a wild card. I mean, he's not a bad player. Like he's had some success. He's a
Yeah.
very good match player.
Yeah.
So, who knows? He could have maybe, he could stand out, I guess. I just the whole Harmon thing, Wyndham, Ricky. I don't know. I can't.
Yeah.
You just have no idea.
Right. No
Right. You
idea.
just have no idea.
It's going to be interesting though. I just think overall, you would expect the U.S. to win those kind of bottom matchups.
Yeah.
Again, we don't know if that's going to happen or not, but that's just my opinion.
Yep. I'm good with that. Anybody you're going to miss not seeing on the US team from years past, that whether it's just poor play or live situation?
Like, no, I'm not going to miss Patrick Reed or like Bryson. Like I could care less
No.
what those guys do.
Yeah. Like, are we missing Dustin?
Yes. I think yes, especially with how well him and Morikawa played together in the last one. It's kind of a bummer you don't see.
Yeah, I feel like it's weird that he's not there, especially because it's not like, he's too old to be there.
Yeah.
We kind of had that transition out with Phil and, Tiger, with the injuries and just also being older.
Right.
I
mean, it was only 2 years ago. Like him and Morikawa won everything they looked at.
Yeah.
So just think of replacing like Sam Burns with DJ.
Yeah. Yeah. Right.
And what the talent level of this team and how far up it goes.
Yeah. You have a Finau situation. Finau's had some success in Ryder. Right. Because I'm not going to miss him.
Again, I don't like, I think at this point, a Wyndham Clark or like a Sam Burns is just as good as a Tony Finau in this situation.
Yeah. But yeah, I think Dustin would be, that's definitely a wild card where like, how do you not have a, like, I mean,
yeah,
it's.
And then from the European side, like, unfortunately, all their guys just aged out. Like they're just too old.
Yeah.
Sergio and Stenson and Poulter and guys like that. They're just too old. They can't play this anymore. They need these rookies to get experience in this. And guys like Hovland and Fleetwood and Fitz, like these are the guys that you're going to have to roll with for the next decade plus.
All right. So history's being made. U.S. is going to win the cup.
Yeah, it's going to be close though. I don't think there's no blowout either way here.
No, I don't think so.
It's going to be a close one, which I think will make it very exciting. I'm looking forward to like just a really exciting. It's going to come down to 1 or 2 matches on Sunday.
Yep.
And it's going to be a lot of fun.
Yep. And it's all going to be about making putts because these guys can all crush the ball.
Yeah.
They always tell us, oh my gosh, the rough is so bad, but these guys have no problem hitting golf balls out of
and
rough.
It's not that bad at this golf course.
Yeah, so it's just going to be a birdie fest, and whoever can roll in the most putts.
Yeah, that really is what these Ryder Cups come down to. Like, who's just even if you're outside of a guy, if you make the putt first, that makes that guy's putt exponentially harder,
Yeah.
even if it's 10 feet closer. Yeah, it's always fun to see who's just like rolling in everything. And then the other guy's looking at him like, what am I supposed to do?
And I'm telling you, if Europe can keep that crowd going,
Yeah,
it's gonna play a factor.
of course.
It's gonna play a factor for sure.
Yeah.
So cool. Good times.
It's going to be a lot of fun. Can't wait to get into it, start watching it. Like you said, we will be watching along with all of you throughout the weekend. We will be back next week we'll recap the whole thing, see if any of these predictions came true, see if our predictions came true. As always, if you're betting, bet against us because that seems to win you some money if you choose anybody else than what we pick. So I guess on that note, congratulations to the Team Europe on winning another Ryder Cup on home soil. But we'll see everyone next week. Banksy, a pleasure as always. We'll look forward to a Ryder Cup and recapping it with all of you next week. And in the meantime, enjoy some golf because I've missed it, to be quite honest. I've missed having some golf on that I want to watch. So looking forward to watching as much as possible. So have a good night, everyone. As always, thanks for everything. Subscribe to the YouTube channel. Follow us on Instagram at B&B Podcast. You can follow that guy at FairbanksC23 on Instagram. Follow the pod on Twitter at the Two Way Miss. You can follow me on Twitter at Big Regz with a Z. We appreciate all of you. Love all of you for the downloads and the watches on YouTube, which have been fantastic for this podcast, by the way. Even after a long break, we were up close to like 40 plus views on YouTube, which is awesome. Woo! So appreciate all of you out there. Enjoy the Ryder Cup. We will catch you next week to recap it all. So see you later and have a good night.
Swing hard, everyone.
Oh, it's not a cut. That's a slice.
Now this is a quack hook.
Oh,
Short
wow.
and into the right rough, headed to the trees.
Oh my God, it's a shake. He decided to re-tee. That's a shake.